Good morning. Well, it's Friday morning, and last night was the last of the 4 midnight reveals during this reveal week. But that does not mean that there will be no further revelations, of course. Yeah. Yes, what a fun one it was last night, too. Well, fun for most of us. Let me take you back a long time ago. A long, long time ago. Too long. Longer than I dare admit. Back to the summer between my senior year of high school and my freshman year of college. What a wonderful time in anyone's life that would be. The summer right after you graduate from high school. It was a good time for movies, actually. The first movie of that summer was Raider of the Lost Ark. Yes, Raiders. Can you imagine seeing that in the theater when it first came out? But near the end of the summer, there was a movie that came out in late August, right about this time of year. Yeah, it was. 1981, August 21st, An American Werewolf in London. And I remember when I was 18 years old, I went down to our local theatre. I think it was the Waikiki number 1. Yeah, that's right. My hometown, Honolulu. Did you know that? Doesn't sound like he's from Hawaii. Yeah, it's a fake accent. Anyway, go to the Waikiki number 1, and and it's a hot August day in Honolulu, Hawaii. Beautiful day in Hawaii. Go into the theatre, and of course the chilly air conditioning makes it all quite cold, and the scenes open up with that music and Blue Moon, and there's that on the moors, and they're shivering because it's cold there in England on the moors back there. David Kessler and his friend Jack, and what happens to them in the wharf. American Werewolf in London, an awesome movie. It's just scary as hell horror movie, with the scenes in that movie that I had in my life never expected to leap out of the seat of a theater and say, what the fuck? There were those kind of moments in the movie. At the same time, it was hysterically funny. It really bothered people because it was like, well, it's kind of a downer for a comedy, but it's not a comedy, it's a horror movie. Well, it's funny, you know. People got confused. How could it be both? But it was both funny and terrifying at the same time. And yeah, I'm a huge fan of that film since I first saw it when it first came out in cinemas 32 years ago. So I'm delighted that that is our house. And I've 10 years after I saw that movie, went to a thing called Fright Nights. Yeah, I've been going ever since. And yeah, I've thought for many times over the years, you know, they should do American Werewolf in London here. That would be awesome. And they tried to. In 2008 they tried to. And in last year they tried again. But both times there were all sorts of difficulties and problems and things that we don't even know quite exactly what the problems were, but whatever it was, it got in the way and they couldn't do the house. This time they're going to carry it off at last. And I'm eagerly anticipating it. Oh my goodness. This is probably the house I've been looking forward to the most since I obviously heard about it way back whenever I did. But yes, oh dear me. I mean, clearly, because after all, I did mention that in an April Fool's gag, didn't I? One of the few things I had to be serious about in my joke, because this is the one I really am looking forward to. Well, yes, it's time to decrypt balloons, and balloons does refer to an American Werewolf in London, because there is that little scene in the movie where David Kessler, after his first night out on the town, woofing around, finds himself waking up in the London Zoo. Probably Regent's Park Zoo, and he's sitting there all butt naked in a pen full of wolves who are like kind of happy to see him because they're wagging their tails, and he's like, what the? Because, and he tries to get out of there and find his way back to Jenny and Gutter's flat. only without getting arrested for public indecency. And he has to lure a young lad over in a scene you would never see in a movie today because of all the ramifications of a minor being involved. But lure the lad over and offer him £1, then steal his balloons, you know. Why would a thief offer me £1? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mummy, a naked American man stole my balloons. Right, exactly. So he runs off with the balloons. And that's where balloons comes from. Not Pennywise the Clown, as some had suspected, but Matt Conwell for London. Alright, so let's see, who was the one who got balloons? Because yes, that was way back on April 2nd that I first posted balloons. Well, the person who first correctly guessed balloons applied to an American werewolf in London for that reason was someone called Dave. All lowercase letters, D-A-V-E, Dave, at Horror Night Nightmares. I'm not quite certain which Dave is. But whoever Dave is, it's appropriate actually, because the wolf's name is David. David Kessler, if you recall. David Norton was the actor. Character was David Kessler. Dave was the one who guessed balloons correctly, so the sharp cookie goes to Dave. So Dave, here's your sharp cookie, and the applause appropriately. And, oh dear, if that's the end of Reveal Week, will we be giving out any more sharp cookies? Hell yes. Because we still have Christine left to decrypt, don't we? And after everything is revealed, we'll probably decrypt Eraser as well. That's a good idea. Oh. And one more thing. Just a little tidbit on the end to see if anyone watches to the end of the video. Here are 3 more cryptic comments. Well, I hope so. I don't know for sure. I'm not as certain as my others cryptic comments up to date, but these 3 I've been hearing whispers, and it makes me wonder. And it's possible they may mean nothing at all, but I hope they mean something. Yes. So let me just give you 3 more comments. Maybe they'll mean something before the end of this is done. Arboreal. Lumberjacks. Alcohol. There you go.